Hi everyone, I'm Angela Clark and I'm the author of the book Awakening from Unconscious Resentment, as you can see right here. And it's really about overcoming the hidden saboteurs in our lives that are hindering our life, our relationships. And so I thought, it might be good if I just read little sections, just section by section till I get to the very end of my book, because it's really kind of overcoming that resentment that we live with day in and day out, that really, it truly is sabotaging our lives. And so I thought, if I just read this, it'll just maybe be fun, because it's got some crazy stuff in this book, and I can kind of show you by real examples what I'm talking about. It might be kind of fun. So I'm going to start with the introduction today. So anyway, Honey, What's Wrong? That's the name of the introduction. So here we go in reading it. Have you ever had someone ask you, what's wrong? And had no idea what they were talking about? A couple of months ago, and this was already 15 years ago, okay, but anyway, a couple of months ago, I was walking into a Denny's and heard a young couple in the foyer having a bit of an argument. Their two children were lagging a short distance behind, all wide-eyed. Honey, what's wrong? Nothing. Yes, there is. Something's bothering you. I can tell. Nothing's wrong. You've hardly said 2 words to me all day. You don't even look me in the eye. And you snapped at the kids at least 3 times since we got up. What's eating at you? I'm fine. Don't walk away, please. Talk to me. Did I do something to upset you? I said nothing's wrong. Just leave me alone. Have you ever had a conversation like that? I'm going to bet you have, whether from one side or the other. Or at the very least, you've heard one. Between husband and wife, mother, child, close friends, 2 siblings, employee, and supervisor, they happen all the time. So can you relate to this, guys, so far? For me, overhearing the exchange at Denny's triggered a memory. That's because I had such a similar discussion with my husband Dan a while back. Although every couple's relationships are different, this type of conversation is common to so many marriages. Here's what happened between Dan and me. Angela, what's wrong? What's bothering you? Dan asked one day. I'm fine, Dan, I said. Everything's fine. No, it's not, he said. Something's wrong. No, really, I insisted. I'm serious. Everything's fine. I'm totally fine. This back and forth went on for a while, and Dan kept insisting something was bothering me, and he could sense it. I kept maintaining my position that everything was fine, just great, nothing was wrong. Finally, I thought to myself, he's getting pretty adamant about this. And I know he loves me. I mean, he's not trying to give me a hard time. He's just trying to help. Unlike my ex-husband, who you'll get to know a little later in the book, I know Dan loves me. We communicate well, and I trust him to have my best interests at heart. So I took it under his advice that maybe something actually was wrong. I went into a little room where Dan and I go at times to be alone, the room we use for reading, quiet time, meditation, or prayer. I went into that room and sat down on the couch, got comfortable, and I just said, Lord, I need a little help here. Dan keeps saying something's wrong, and I have no idea what he's talking about. But I know he loves me. Something must be up. Could you enlighten me? Could you please give me clues? What's going on here? After that, I just waited. I waited and waited in silence, trusting God that something would pop into my mind. All of a sudden, wow, a flood of thoughts just came pouring in. A bill that was late and I didn't want to call and explain, a conversation I was avoiding, an appointment I wanted to avoid and needed to cancel, someone I was angry with and needed to face, someone else I needed to speak to and was afraid. Then there was a piece of work I was having trouble completing and didn't want to do, an email I hadn't sent out, a reservation I needed to cancel but hadn't wanted to, a hurtful rejection I'd experienced with a friend and hadn't yet processed or forgiven, and there was more. It was just one irritation after another. Man, I thought, who knew I had all these worries? So I wrote a list. I got busy and I started dealing with those issues one by one as fast as I could do it. And what a wonderful relief it was. The air felt lighter. The light seemed brighter. I felt like a piano had been lifted off my back. Hold on, something's all wrong with my camera right here. Okay, hopefully it's still recording. This experience just pointed out to me how much activity goes on inside my mind that I'm not even aware is occurring, worries that hover just beneath my consciousness. If they threaten to pop up, I stuff them down and don't pay any attention. And look what happened when I simply asked God to show me what was up. Sure enough, He did. So, I think I'm going to stop right there, but can you relate to any of this? That's what I mean by unconscious, okay? So you can see that I was unconscious of what was going on in my head. I was stuffing a lot. So back in that day, I hadn't really overcome a lot of the codependency that I've been able to overcome now. No one's ever got it perfect, but I really got a handle on this and started to become aware of my feelings and get in touch with myself, and just, get with myself and just realize that, I guess just to say this, I really realized that I was not in touch with myself, and it was a shock to me. I just couldn't believe it. How could I be so unconscious of what's going on in my own life and in my own head and my heart? And Dan was really worried. It's like he thought he'd lost me. That's how bad it was. And he didn't tell me that, but he told me later after I finally came around. But I was talking really fast, high-pitched voice, kind of like I was in an altered reality because I couldn't face so many things that I just didn't want to deal with. I think this might be a little bit more common than we all realize, but we don't have a handle on what's going on in our own lives at times, and it can really do a number on us. So I just thought maybe I would read that little bit, and I think next time I'll talk a little bit more about it, and I'll read the next part, and we can just kind of get into this. So hopefully you can relate. Maybe you've had some experience like this. I don't know, but we'll talk about it more next time. All right, thanks for listening. Have a great night. Bye-bye.